Hey, it's B Minus with the Now and Never crew here. So I get the question, how do I prepare for competitions? I feel like this is kind of a self-explanatory question, but since people are asking, I'm gonna touch up on it just a little bit. Depends on what type of competition you're training for, you'll be doing different things. If you're training for a one-on-one or a two-on-two, then stamina will come into play quite a bit. One thing personally that I do is because if you are going to be doing one-on-one or two-on-twos, it's likely you're going to have to go many more rounds than as opposed to doing crew battles. So what you would do in this case is you would probably chop up your existing rounds, your arsenal, and you would find out what main content you have, and you want to be able to identify it and basically chunk it down. Once you do this and you start training it, you'll have a good idea what goes together with what and how much stamina you would need for each individual combinations. Okay, so if you're preparing for bigger competitions, crew on crew battles, then obviously what you would need to do is you would need to lean up your rounds. So what I mean by this is you would take your main content and you would strip out the fat. In other words, you would take out filler moves and you want to stack them together and get used to it that way. How stamina works in this case from experience is it's actually quite different, because then you would be stacking a lot of more difficult moves and more energy consuming moves together. So in other words, you would need to be able to do a long round with high energy. So how you would train this is you would be mimicking the situation. In other words, instead of an interval training like a 25-second round and 15-second rest type of deal, you would be doing like a 35-second set or 40-second set even with high energy and getting used to that. And if you're training for a big battle, usually what I do is I would stop everything 2 weeks before the actual competition. So I wouldn't be training any more basics, I wouldn't be doing strength training or anything like that. All I'd be focusing on is basically stretching out and doing my rounds over and over and over. On top of actually getting really used to the moves, you actually build up your stamina quite a bit this way. Okay, so bottom line, train accordingly to the competition that's coming up, and remember that breaking is more of an interval type of activity, so train accordingly. I hope you liked this video. Make sure to come to my website to check out the B-Boy concept workshop I did. In this workshop, I talk about concepts like how do you create original moves and the techniques for training to double your improvement. And lastly, how do you keep on getting better and stay motivated. So check it out. This is B- with the Now and Never crew. I'll see you there.